All right, we're live with the second episode of Nakama Club. This is a spinoff of the King of Anime podcast, where we I guess every 3 months now. I guess that's actually kind of a good way to do this, but whenever we can, we cover a show that one of us picks, and we take turns. So the first episode was on Everything Animated's channel. It was a Snafu podcast, very good podcast. This one's on my channel, and we're talking about Inuyashiki Last Hero, otherwise known as the anime with Donald Trump in it, and the weird CGI animation. That's also kind of like Gantz. I'm here today with my King of Anime podcast co-host. Introduce yourself.
I am Everything Animated. I'm here, and I love myself.
I'm glad.
Hey guys, I'm Sasuke the Savage. I'm tired. Never procrastinate. But if you do it like me.
In style. And with socks on. So yeah, today we're talking about Inuyashiki Last Hero. This is from this manga. It's based off a manga originally from the creator of Gantz, but there is quite a bit of Gantz references, from the character designs to literally posters of Gantz on one of the characters' walls. So the gist of this story is that an old man has cancer, Ichiro Inuyashiki, and one night after he finds this dog, he goes out to walk his dog, and he just starts running. He runs to a field, and he sees a young man there. His name is Hiro, and they both get hit with something. It turns out it's an alien device, and they kill them. But the aliens panic because they're supposed to leave this world untouched. So what happens is the aliens revive them, but in the process, they turn them completely into machines. Machines, may I add, of immense power and destructive capabilities. And through that, both of these characters kind of develop, and at the end of the show, we get a big standoff between the two. And there's a lot of commentary in this show. Did you guys notice some of the commentary?
I certainly did.
Lots of stuff, social media bringing us together while simultaneously ripping us apart, turning our cell phones, turning us into more machines than human. I mean, it's also referenced in the opening. The opening and the ending for this anime are both fantastic, and lots of commentary for that kind of stuff. I mean, the opening is by Man with a Mission, who that band has incredible lyrics that are always pretty deep, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys like that band. Do you guys like Man with a Mission?
Especially the "Hit Me on the Ground" lyric.
I love that. that is a chorus right there. There's another song that's similar to that. Square Hammer by Ghost. The chorus is, "Are you on the square? Are you on the level?" And it's just, I love choruses like that, but that's getting into music. But this whole anime is simultaneously, in terms of its writing, both brilliant and absolutely awful. And I love it.
With that.
I love it. It's so fast paced. It's breakneck speed. But the themes, the messages of this anime, I think, carry it significantly. Whatever you think about, if you think this is a terrible show or a great show, I think we can all agree it's trying to tell a much deeper story with much deeper themes.
Yeah, and that was one of my things with the show that I have a problem with. I'm starting off complaining, but it felt like it was trying to do a lot of things, but it never honed in on one thing. And just to name some of the themes that I noticed, the first one being power corrupts you. And I heard a quote one time, and this is kind of like this same thing, but I heard a quote it's basically like, money doesn't change you, it just amplifies who you really are. Or it allows you to be the person you want to be. And we can kind of see that with Hero because he was killing people, and beforehand he, of course, he wasn't a serial killer, but that power probably corrupted him to be like that, sort of. And that was one thing that I wish they would have focused more on, but they didn't really. Another theme that you already alluded to was the technology factor, and um how technology is kind of how we're dependent on technology, because there was literally people getting killed through phones, yet some kids did not want to give up their phones.
Yeah,
um
I noticed that too. Oh,
yeah,
I
they
don't
were
want to
like,
give up my phone. It's like, you want to die?
I think that's a flaw of the show, and simultaneously, it's also trying to be commentary, but I don't think it works out as much. But continue.
yeah, it was one, oh yeah, the theme of, like, I guess, humanity, because from the first episode, what this show reminded me of was Parasite, and I think Parasite really excels in that, kind of showing the main character how he loses his humanity, and then, you know, because of course the whole alien deal, and I think that was like the strongest theme that this show touched upon, but I felt like it was trying to do too many things at once, and it ended up kind of falling short of what I wanted.
So there's a reason for this, and it's kind of quite sad, especially if you're a fan of Gantz, because I've read everything in terms of Gantz. Like, I know how the story ends, all the bad parts, all the good parts. Gantz is really good, but so the reason for this is because the author of the manga, early on in the manga's publishing, he was informed that his manga would be canceled in about a year or so, and so he rushed. He rushed to get everything fit in, and I really appreciate that quite a bit, because he didn't just continue on, trying to somehow change the people's minds and create this really long story like Gantz was. Gantz is like almost 300 chapters, but very quick to read, actually. But he fit it all in, and I really appreciate that about him. But that's probably the main downfall of this, is the source material was just cut short. He didn't have enough time to do everything he wanted to do, and I think if he had that time to actually flesh out these characters and flesh out this story. I forgot to put the slide up. Oops. There we go. Now you're seeing stuff from the show. I apologize. But if he got all the time to do what he wanted to do, I think that Inuyashiki would be one of those shows that people talk way more about, and would love more if they weren't already Gantz fans like I am. Which is funny, because I watched this show and I was like, man, this guy is like, whoever made this, they're really trying to do something here. And I really appreciated it a lot. And so I found out who it was, and I went to read Gantz, and I read it in like 3 days. All of it. Gantz is very short, but also very long. It's strange. The chapters are short, but it's like 300 chapters.
Yeah, I happen to notice that as well. See, I read Inuyashiki before it was even an anime. It was something. Remember when Crunchyroll used to have mangas?
They still
on,
do, but
they do.
Yeah, but it's awful. It uses Flash.
I was gonna say it used to be way better. Because I read so many of those on there, and Inuyashiki was one of them. And I thought, what was it? Maybe the first 8 episodes. Like, it was just a very well and very faithful adaptation of the manga. Because I remember sitting there and reading it, and this is kind of one of the downsides of the show, is when you see the illustrations and just the artwork of the manga itself. Oh, it looks insane.
Yeah,
it
the
looks so
manga's
good.
crazy.
It looks so sick. But then when you look at the show and you see the CG, you're just like,
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. They did what they could with what their budget was. It's not like this was Studio Madhouse or anything, but man, I just wish I could have seen that version versus versus what we got, but they still adapted it very well.
My complaints with the CGI are mostly the backgrounds and just the animation of the CGI itself. I actually think the CGI models are quite well done.
Yeah.
If you look at how, like, when they pop their heads open, or when he uses his arm gun in the first or second episode, there's a lot of detail on that model, and I think there's so much detail in weird places in this anime. It's strange. Like, I think they got the right people to do the CGI models. I don't think the animation for the CGI was that good, because you gotta also keep in mind, this is the same season that Ancient Magus' Bride and Land of the Lustrous was airing, and Land of the Lustrous is by far the best use of CGI in anime I've ever seen. I don't think you guys have seen the show, but
I have not.
Nope.
It's incredible, and I think in my review for this, I said pretty much the same thing, that the backgrounds, the animation for the CGI itself were poor at best. Because, I mean, go to episode 10 where they're fighting, and they pan out sometimes, and you see the backgrounds, and they're not matching the character movements. But not only that, the buildings look like they're from the N64, and the roads are like chunky and blocky, and the cars are low polygon. It looks awful. But the models, you see them when they're moving, and you can notice the details. And I mean, some of the CGI stuff actually is animated very well, but it's mostly in those last couple episodes that they're animated decently. And I mean, once again, you look in some other episodes, in episode 10, when Hiro brings down the planes were CGI, and they looked fine, like animated, and the models totally fine. I don't think they were great, but they were fine. And it's just the lack of consistency with the CGI that I think really let it down, because the author uses CGI in all of his manga. He's used it in Gantz since I don't know, quarter way through, and because of that, he is allowed to really flesh out kind of like the tone through the art of his manga. Like I showed you the other day a panel of the manga that was incredible. It was Inuyashiki punching that mobster, that 8-foot tall mobster guy, and it looked great. It was also a homage to one of Pantera's album covers, something vulgar display of aggression.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it sucks. It doesn't look as good as the manga does, because the manga takes advantage of so many technologies with CGI, and this show kind of just it looks like it. It's not exactly like it, though, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have to ask Satsuki, what did you think about the One Piece references?
I noticed about 4 of them. I mean, the first, it was obvious. He literally asked one of his victims, like, "What manga do you read?" after killing her entire family. Probably inappropriate time, but
Probably.
he had to know.
He didn't care.
You had go ahead.
Well, I was gonna ask, so the first time we see him, they like, I think that one of the first things they talk about is One Piece, and Hiro's like laughing in one of the chapters of One Piece, and he says something. Do you know what chapter of One Piece that was, or what like moment he was talking about?
No, I wouldn't have known.
Oh man, I always wondered, like, do like One Piece fans like actually know what Hiro is reading there?
I mean, probably hardcore One Piece fans, but nah, I'm not that hardcore. But that was one reference. They talked about Nami in one of the episodes, and their next door neighbor, his name is Oda, and of course the mangaka, his name is Ichiro Oda, and Inuyashiki's first name is Ichiro.
That's beautiful. I didn't notice that at all. That's actually That's a good catch. There's also references to Gantz as well. He has on the poster of all the characters in the half naked lady. I forget her name. She's a good character in the manga. Have you guys seen or read Gantz?
I've heard of it, but I heard that, I don't know, like it has very mixed reviews. And I found that kind of funny how in the anime and even in the manga, because it said the same thing, it was almost like the author was criticizing all the critics.
He's aware.
And I'm just like, he was talking through these characters, and I'm just like, how? I mean, I don't know. I guess it's kind of like M. Night Shyamalan being upset over the critics.
I don't think he was upset.
with certain, you don't think he was?
No, I think the way he saw it was like, yeah, the story kind of like trailed off there at the end. Because the story has an awful ending. Like, Gantz is notorious for its non-ending. After literally going through 300 chapters in an alien goddamn invasion, and they end it the way they ended it, I think he totally knew. I think that he's very cognizant of that. Because the guy, obviously, with some of the use of social media in this story, the guy, like, frequents 4chan or 2chan or whatever, something. Twitter. He's on all the social media. So I mean, we'll probably have to find an interview of him, like, saying his, like, saying what he thinks about Gantz after all of that, but I don't think it was like an M. Night Shyamalan situation where he's criticizing the critics. I think he just knows, and I think he's okay with people being that self-aware or whatever. That's the way I took it.
Yeah. Do I sound good?
You do.
Okay, for some reason.
I'm just going through my notes.
All right, no problem. But yeah, I've personally never seen Gantz, but like I said, I've seen the illustrations from the manga, and it's like it's just as sick and as crazy as Inuyashiki. It's just something about his art style where you can tell it's him whenever you see it.
Yeah, I definitely recommend if you like this, like anyone watching this who's seen Inuyashiki and likes it like at all, Gantz is 100%. Start with Gantz O on Netflix. It's a live action CG movie. It's like really good. But so
Gantz O, is that like Resident Evil 0?
O stands for Osaka.
Oh.
It's supposed to be like Gantz / Osaka, but they changed it because Gantz / Osaka sounds freaking terrible.
But Gantz O is better.
It's the same thing. So in episode 3, I want to get your guys' take on this scene because I love this scene. Inuyashiki, he starts to sense like he can hear people like in danger, and so one of the things he hears in episode 3 is there's a fire, and so he decides that he has to get there, but he's too far away to get to that fire, so he flies because he knows that Hiro can fly, but he doesn't know how to fly, so he starts singing the Astro Boy opening song from the 1960s. Yeah. What did you guys think about this scene?
I liked it just for that scene alone with Astro Boy and just the classic nature of it.
Yeah, it's one of the best scenes in the show for that reference alone. So many references in this anime. It's I mean, it's crazy. What did you think?
You ever notice? Oh, sorry, I was gonna say. You ever notice in some animes they're allowed to say certain names of animes, but in other shows, like even if they mention the word, they bleep it out?
Yeah, I think that has to do with rights and rights management and trademarks and stuff like that. I'm not sure. I don't. It seems like that would be fair use, but once again, Japan doesn't seem to know what fair use is.
Nope.
I don't think they have
Code Geass X Pizza Hut.
Why do they take the Pizza Hut thing out? They should have let Pizza Hut in.
I think it's because they sponsored them.
They did,
like a long time ago, and I don't think they're going to sponsor them this next season.
They should. I want my Pizza Hut. That was like back when Pizza Hut used to be good too.
Probably back when I was still working there.
Now they're homogenized. But yeah, Satsu, what did you think about the Astro Boy scene?
Never watched Astro Boy, even though I know of it. So don't have much opinions on it, but I thought it was cool.
We gotta talk about this guy's voice actor too, because initially
Ugh.
he's like,
Ugh.
I hated him. I was like, what? He sounds like a teenager. What is wrong with this? But
I,
I don't. Somewhere throughout the show, he kind of like fits into the role, and I don't know if it's time constraints where initially he didn't know what the character was trying to be or whatever, and he's trying to get the voice down. But he kind of, by the end, he definitely sounds like Inuyashiki to me.
I actually liked him. Like
I did as well.
to me, he felt really mild mannered, and I thought the voice actor for him fit him because he doesn't get mad really. He doesn't. For the most part, he's very calm and he'll speak in a very peaceful manner. And
Polite,
I
very polite.
yeah, yeah, very polite. So I thought his voice actor fit him really well. I mean, I don't read the manga, so uh, I don't know. There may be like some discrepancy between manga readers and what they expected from the voice actor, but I thought it fit.
For me personally, I eventually got used to it. I guess at the beginning, I'm like, really? They picked this dude? He didn't even sound old. It sounded like they took somebody who was like in their 20s. It's like try to sound like an old man. Just as me as an old man.
I'm so old.
When he's doing that scene when he's running because he got diagnosed with cancer and he's going to the park, and he's doing that. Yeah, I'm like, really? This is Inuyashiki. This is how he sounds. I
think he was trying to capture that sweet, kind natured old man feel to him, because later in the show when Inuyashiki has to emote a little bit more and he gets overwhelmed or whatever, he just makes these weird noises that I just find so adorable, that just kind of make me laugh sometimes. For example, in the last episode when they have a 3-dimensional gun bullet battle thing, and he uses the bang thing, and he's using it himself, and he's like bang 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 bang.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I eventually got used to it after a while, but in my mind, and I guess it goes because I read it first before I saw it. I guess it just I don't know. I pictured something a little like I actually pictured a feeble sounding man, because he was, but I guess he wasn't going to sound feeble once he became a robot. But I don't know. That was just in my mind, because to me that was the whole cool thing about it, is he's this really frail sounding man, and yet he has the power to annihilate the whole planet. you know
We'll get into that into a minute, because I still want to talk about the voice acting, because there's some really good voice acting in this show. But yeah, I totally agree with that. But switching over to Hiro, Inuyashiki is this man who speaks very polite. He's very well mannered. He speaks like an old man from a different generation would speak, and he has a very soothing voice. Switch over to Hiro, and this is where Hiro's actor, he's probably the best voice actor in this whole show.
I would say I thought he was perfect.
He's great. Cold, very much like a machine. It almost like, in a way, I felt like the voice actor watched a lot of Terminator, like the first 2 Terminators. It was like he tried to nail that coldness, that very very machine-like, very cold, calculated, and I mean, when he says bong, that's like the thing that everybody like knows from this show. That's his catchphrase.
It's funny hearing, because when I read it, I always in my head bang bang bang, but then when you see it, in the anime, it's bong, and I'm like, kind of funny. To me, it's kind of funny hearing it that way.
There's some weird. This show makes me laugh, I think, when I shouldn't. But
right?
That has happened way too many times. I've seen people in pain. Just when Inuyashiki got diagnosed with cancer. Not funny at all, but the way the information was delivered to him, the doctor was like,
Yeah. Well,
you
got
have stomach
cancer.
cancer. Yeah, like what? Can you please at least try to have some tact? It was just shift is almost over. Let me get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think that's also like another theme of the show is like I think it's in the title. Inuyashiki is the last hero. Like no one's a hero in this world. Everyone's an asshole. He's estranged from his family. That doctor, you got cancer, and he's like, how old are you? He's like, 58. Well, you don't look it, that's for sure. Asshole. How more obvious can you be? Like, I mean, and it's kind of cool. I think how everyone in this show you kind of hate, and then by the end you don't. They're not exactly. No one's really redeemed no one's really redeemed besides his family, but Inuyashiki's family. And I like that aspect because I think that's realistic. I think everybody's an asshole in the real world. Like really, on some level, like everyone's very apathetic towards other people. People stay to themselves on their phones. When people walk around, they're playing a waifu gacha game or whatever they're doing on Twitter, Facebook. I think that's very realistic. Like, and there's not a lot of heroes in this world, I guess, anymore. Besides firefighters or whatever. And I like that theme. That he is the last hero. That's for sure.
I have a bombshell to drop on y'all.
Oh shit.
The guy who voiced Inuyashiki was actually voiced by a guy who's 65 years old.
Wow! Holy crap!
The dude's name is Fumoyo Kohinata,
Dude,
and he's been acting since 1977.
Dude, that's awesome.
The whole time I thought he was a young dude, and he was an actual old guy.
So I guess he's kept his voice well in check. I guess that's kind of why he sounds younger. He's a young-sounding old man.
I was gonna say he doesn't smoke.
He's a grizzled young vet.
Jesus.
That's actually pretty. That's a neat little tidbit. But yeah, I mean, just going back to that theme of just I mean, I guess the only people you're supposed to really like in this show initially is Inuyashiki and Ando, and besides that, you're not supposed to like anybody else. And I guess a theme that's kind of like, kind of adjacent to that in some ways is there's this underlying sense of hope. There's this underlying sense of like everything in the end will be all right. Especially when it comes to Inuyashiki and his scenes. In his scenes, for example, if Fumino and Satoru, when Satoru dies and Inuyashiki wakes up and he thinks he's dead and he's just sitting there just bawling, just giving a really honestly great performance, really emotional, he brings him back. When Inuyashiki is walking down the street and he sees a cat getting run over,
he brings the cat.
Yeah, but he brings the cat back, and there's just this underlying sense of hope. Like, this world is cruel, it's terrible, it's awful. Everyone is just assholes. But at the end of the day, something's gonna go right, and Inuyashiki is kind of like that hope. And there's a lot of also parallels. Like they even mention it. Like every time Inuyashiki revives someone, I believe he praises. He asks God for help. There's a lot of hope, a lot of religious context there, and I think that was definitely on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. He's when there's a lot of evil. There's a lot of things that we can look at the world and just focus on the bad things, but there's always those little gleams of lights, those little stories that whenever you hear them, they give you a little spark, and you're just like, well, at least there's some decency in humanity.
Yep.
It's crazy.
It's one of the best things about this show. No matter how bad things get, when Inuyashiki comes around, you reliably can say that something good is about to happen, because what this character brings with him is just so hope. He is this series, he kind of is this series, God or whatever, in many ways. He revives people. I mean,
he says it like towards the end too. He said, "This is why I was brought here on this earth."
Yeah, to be reborn as a machine to save the human race.
Yeah, this is why I. Yeah.
And that's
I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in many ways you could say Hero is Satan of this story or whatever. But that's religion. Who cares about
that? To draw on the parallels again, I did kind of notice the whole sense of both of them were machines, but both had different meanings of feeling alive, and that's what Inuyashiki said. He said, "This is what makes me feel alive, is by helping people, going to the hospitals and curing cancer patients." While Hero, he feels alive by taking someone else's life away.
Right. One gets gratification in giving life. One gets gratification in extinguishing life. And also Hero himself is a very selfish guy. He has like his small group of people. He has his mother. He has his girlfriend or whatever she is, Pubehead as he calls her. Literally the first thing he says to her is, "Oh, you're Pubehead." And her grandmother, which is like also to talk about Hero as well. Like he brings all of this upon himself, every single bit. Everything that he's done in this show, you cannot, no matter what this show tries to do, and it really never did, but it never tries to redeem this character of the horrible things it did. He did.
He almost had a change of heart though. He's like, I'm going to stop killing people. And then they freaking they go to his house and arrest him, and it's like, well, there goes that.
Well, he does it. I think he does it 2 times. He has a change of heart, right? Because one time he's talking to his mother, and his mother on the news the killings. And his mother's like, I hope whoever did that gets arrested or whatever, killed or whatever she says. And he's like, what would you do if I did that? And she was like, well, I'd have to die with you. And she does. She kills herself after it's revealed that after he's almost captured, the same day, does she hang herself?
She shoots herself, I think. Well, it just said that she committed suicide. It never said how.
And then that's like his first kind of like, you fucked up thing. Like, you took away my mom. Now I'm just going to go around and start killing the press because of the press, you made her kill herself.
And and
the trolls. And while realizing himself that he's the one who brought her to do this, really, it was because of his actions. But he doesn't think that way. He thinks it's the trolls, the press. And so he starts killing all of the trolls on these message boards. In a great scene, by the way, where he kills a neat otaku. And the neat's like, just starts laughing at him. And he's like, you probably shouldn't be laughing, dude. And he just kills him and sends the footage out to everyone and starts messaging in all these boards like, I'm going to find you and I'm going to kill you. And there's nothing any of you can do about it. And he does.
Just try it, kid. I'll kick your ass. And the people are flipping off the
yeah screen. Yeah, talk about moments where you're laughing when you probably shouldn't be.
No, I don't know. That felt like I was supposed to laugh. Maybe I'm just a sick one, but I laughed hard. I'm sorry.
Oh man, that was so. I just laughed. I don't know what to say. And then the second time, he's like, all right, I'm done. I'm done killing. I've killed so many people. He like met his girlfriend or whatever. This girl, I forget her name, Pubed, and she's like, you've killed a lot of people, yeah, but you can redeem yourself by going around and healing people and saving them, like Inuyashiki was doing before. And so he does that, and he cures this girl's cancer. I think her name is Nakao or something like that. And she's like on like in a week, she was probably gonna die. She even thinks about committing suicide at one point, just by jumping.
Don't you love that scene where she's sitting in the park and saying, "I want to live," and those little kids are like, "What's this old?
What's this ugly bitch doing?"
I'm like, mean ass kids.
It's another
Yes.
example.
Gotta love the kids.
It's another example. You probably shouldn't be laughing at it, but you are. And at the same time, it's another example of one of the themes of the show, which is everyone's an asshole. And there's no one left that's good, besides Inuyashiki and his dog. But yeah,
the dog didn't die.
Dog didn't die. I was very happy about that as well. And
I was surprised.
So the second time, yeah, he's like, I'm done killing. He goes around healing people. Heals this one girl. They spread it around social media. That's definitely a religious kind of reference right there with the way they spread the word and how he's wearing a hood.
Mm-hmm.
That's obvious, but and then they find him again, and they kill the grandma and his girlfriend, and he revives them while he's flying them off, and he's like, all right, all the police are dead. And he goes to the police station and he kills every single one of them besides one person.
Yeah, that was a crazy ass scene. I remember. I think that was when I finally got caught up with the manga because I never finished it. It was around that time when this insane shit was going on. I'm like, oh my god, how are they gonna stop this person? And see, these people did it better than, and I'm talking about Mob Psycho 2. You know how whenever the espers were taking them on and they're just like doo 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 and getting crushed by buildings. At least these people came in with SWAT copters and were just.
Yeah, they used everything they could.
That was crazy.
And I like that. He walks outside and there's just a bunch of people in riot gear, the SWAT team, the police, and he's like, all right. And he gets like sniped in the head and he just stands up and they surround him and they just start shooting him. And he just annihilates them all.
Just unload clips after clips, and then like he gets to the knocked out stage and then everybody gets annihilated.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And and it happens again. Heroes, he's killed everyone. There's no more law, literally. Well, besides that one guy. And so his next step, kill everyone in Japan. And so he kills 100 people in the first day, which the way they make that scene, the way they direct it, the way they wrote it, it definitely didn't seem like he killed 100 people. It seemed more like thousands, but okay.
I want to say it seemed like a lot more, I loved how everybody was.
Oh no, you cut out EA. But there's a reference in this scene actually. We'll wait for EA to get back.
That first thing.
Oh no.
All right, hold on.
This is terrible. There's a reference in the last episode or episode 10, episode 11. The first time we see Hiro use the big billboard screens or whatever in the city, we see the band members of Man with a Mission who did the opening for Inuyashiki. I thought that was.
I did not know that.
Yep, they're all in their wolf heads because that's what they use when they perform on stage is giant wolf heads. No one knows they perform under pseudonyms. No one knows the real band members' names or anything like that, or what they look like.
No,
ZA back?
I didn't know that. I am back.
Okay, continue on what you were gonna say.
I forgot what I was saying. I think it had something to do with a bunch of people. Oh yeah, that's right. A bunch of people were dying, and I just love how when he was telling everybody all this, they're just walking, mind their own business. Oh, I'm gonna be late for work. Fuck it. Who cares what the giant screens? I'm telling you, if that was to happen in real life, just walking and you just see that, I'd be a little scared.
I would, yeah, I'd be frightened. I mean,
Even if I thought it was some sort of hoax or whatever, that would be, it would still fill me with a bit of like, dude, is that real? I mean, I'd kind of be walking a little faster than some of these people, but they're just like, tra la 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 la.
every single one of them too. Every single one of them.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be as relaxed as these people, and I don't know, like at the same time, isn't there an asteroid falling from Earth, or not falling from Earth,
Yes.
falling to Earth? Why are these people still going to work?
This is a flaw of the show. It's the pacing. It's the issue. They don't have enough. They didn't have a. This is like a 26 episode story, an 11 episode series. I mean, it really is. They did not have enough time to do anything, and as soon as they talk about the meteor, I'm like, they're just gonna blow themselves up. They're gonna Armageddon the anime. That's what they're gonna do, and that's what they did.
I thought it was strange. I mean, we already had aliens giving humans that they accidentally squished, mechanical bodies, but now we got to throw in an asteroid in there as well. Sometimes there's a little something where it's like, I don't know, just a little too much. Because I thought the fact that these were robot beings was more than enough, but now we got to add an asteroid on top of that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's
11
like episodes.
It's like the robot body wasn't cool enough. No, we have to add an we have to add an asteroid on top of that. Ooh.
I think they would have I think the way the story ends, either way, is they both die. I think that's just the way that it has to end anyways.
Yeah.
But the dude only had 11 episodes, and he was like, "Oh, I gotta figure out a way. Asteroid,
Yeah,
Armageddon."
And it almost feels like, because I think that's when episode 9 or episode 10 happens or whatever, when they announce the asteroid.
Yeah, that's episode 9.
I think that's where you can tell there was a gradual shift in the whole feel of the show, and I think that's when maybe the author realized, oh shit, I have a year to finish this manga, so now I gotta speed things up. I know, asteroid.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what happened. I mean, really.
Because everything felt like a nice pace, and everything was going smoothly, and even reading it felt like smooth. And when I was watching it again, I was like, oh, this is just like how I read it. Everything's nice. And then asteroid. I'm like, where did this asteroid come in all of a sudden? Okay.
Yeah, I think I liked this show up until episode 7. I think that's when I started to be like, what are we doing?
What was episode 7?
I believe episode 7 is when we first get that shift in character for Hero, because and Pubehead's name is Shion. I'm calling her Shion because I don't want to call her Pubehead.
Forgot about that. Episode 7 is when Hiro starts to heal Nakao, the girl who has cancer and is about to die.
Ugly bitch.
Where I think Hiro. This is the episode Hiro vows to save people's lives.
And that's when it went down. That's when it went down for you, Sasuke.
Yeah, because I felt like it wasn't enough to completely shift his character. I mean, I guess maybe it is because Hiro is kind of childlike and he's almost like a blank slate. If he talks to the right people, he can completely change. But I still thought that was just too much. That literally one sentence from Shion completely shifted what he was going to do. He went on the opposite side of the spectrum from one sentence. He was about to kill everybody, and then she said, "No, I want you to stay with us." And then he was like, "Oh, okay, let me start saving people."
That's a good point.
And the funny thing is, I think he was about to kill her too. Like
yeah.
he was flying with her, and he was gonna drop her, and then all of a sudden she said what she said, and then he's like, "Yeah, clench my fist. I'm gonna secure her," and then everything's great. Yeah, that is kind of weird.
He almost killed her the episode before.
That's right.
When they were sleeping, he put the bong to her head. It's like, kill this sleeping girl. But
he was
didn't.
He was gonna put the gun to her head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now think about it. Not sure about that one.
Speaking of weird scenes in the show, how about the Yakuza making the other dude
Suck his dick.
Well, I wasn't gonna say that, but yeah, that.
I wanted to drop the show in episode 4. I was like, I want to drop this show, but we have to do the podcast, so I'm going to keep watching.
But that was so weird. I just remember he's like sitting in the sun. He's like, move. And I'm like, I'm sitting here. And I'm like, ew, what the? What?
He also has a massive penis, too. You see the shadow of it when Fumino grabs the sword. It's very hard to miss.
Grabs the sword.
No, not that sword.
Oh.
He like shifts in the moonlight, and you can see an outline of it. And I think in the manga you can see a pretty good outline of it as well.
He flew it over his shoulder in the manga.
God damn it!
I remember that episode and also that part in the manga. It was so weird, but it felt so satisfying once Inuyashiki decides to go ahead and doesn't even know how to fight for shit, but because he's so powerful, is able to break these people in half.
He like raises his hands up and he makes this weird ball like it isn't even a fist. He puts his thumb in between his fingers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're like, should we kill them now? It was a lot like that scene from Terminator 1 where the Terminator shows up and he's like, give me your clothes now. And he's like, what's this guy? And he kills them all, and he puts his fist through them. Yeah, there's a lot of so many goddamn inspirations from so many different shows, and also real life events. Because Donald Trump shows up in episode 11.
I love how they made Donald Trump.
There's no price to pay.
Yeah, they gave him that weird accent, and then he's like, "Live however you want to live. I'm done with you losers," or whatever he said. It's just like. Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to say that's not accurate. It's good enough, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. The rest of you losers can do whatever the hell you want. I could just imagine the day after the asteroid was destroyed. I was just kidding. I was just playing with y'all.
Yeah, no, that's how he gets impeached, y'all.
Right.
I'm going to start calling our Donald Trump the live action version of Donald Trump from now on, because I like this Donald Trump in the anime better.
Oh, is it?
Oh my god. Let's get a little bit uncomfortable for a moment. In episode 10, Hiro brings down a bunch of commercial airliners, and that did not make me feel good as an American. Like, it wasn't bad. Like, I didn't feel like it shouldn't have done it or anything. But, like, I got a weird feeling in my stomach of 9/11. I'm like, that's some...
Same here. That was the first thing that popped up in my mind.
That's some 9/11. I'm like, that's some 9/11 bullshit right there, and I don't feel good about this. Like, I got this weird feeling. I don't know how to feel.
Yeah, it was definitely... Well, for me, I mean, yeah, I did have some... moments of 9/11 that were in there, but for me it was mostly we focus on one girl that helps this baby stop crying, and then she's going down, she's thinking of her parents. That got to me more than anything. And then they all got saved by landing in the Potomac. I mean, in the you know what I mean, the river.
Inuyashiki guided them down.
Yep, just like Sully.
Don't get that. Oh wait, what is that reference?
Sully, he's the one that landed in the Potomac. Tom Hanks played him in the movie.
Oh, okay.
It's based off the real guy that actually saved a bunch of people because the landing gear didn't work, so he landed.
I didn't see that.
Well, it's a real life thing, dude. It's based off of a true events.
I didn't know about this literally until today. I'm gonna have to search that up because that sounds super fascinating, interesting. But
it is interesting.
Also, just that whole episode, the beginning of the next episode, when how the characters react, they all immediately are just, please stop, and I'm like, oh god. And then the impact of it and the way it looks and how it just forces everything out and all the smoke, and it just that brung me down a little bit when it's very well done. Very well done. I feel he definitely watched some footage of 9/11, to be honest, and was like, this is how we're going to do it. And it worked, I think. It made me respond emotionally to it. It wasn't in bad taste by any means.
I mean, we already hate this guy, Hero. I mean, to me, what led to me absolutely despising him was not even... It was episode 2. Just the whole going into the house like it was nothing, it was just some video game.
He watches watches the child choke, drown
on his own father, body because he's underwater, and then torturing the girl, the daughter or whatever. I was just like, this guy is just absolute scum. There's no redeeming for him whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then he kills the other dog. He hears the dog barking, goes into their house, and you just hear him go bang, 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 and he just walks out like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the whole hero thing, that got me thinking, because just for an example, like someone like Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, he's somebody that a lot of people still like despite what he's done. And that got me thinking, like, what are some of the things that make us forgive characters or at the very least sympathize with them? Because I thought Hero was irredeemable. Like, there was nothing he could have done in the show to make me go, yeah, those people that you killed, that was fine. But I felt like the show could have made him sympathetic, but they didn't do that. They kind of tried to, but it didn't work. And I think just like some of the factors to kind of to make someone sympathize with the character is, first, the character has to be remorseful for whatever they've done, which he wasn't. He never felt sorry about the people he's killed, not once. Second is, you just got to change for the better, which he did in some instances. And then I guess like the last thing is, sometimes you just need enough time to pass, because even with those two things, you being remorseful and you changing for the better, sometimes you just need time to properly see that change throughout, which is, this show is 11 episodes, so that was going to be impossible no matter what. So I think the only thing going for him was the fact that he changed for the better, but even then, that was only for 30 minutes.
It was also for extremely selfish reasons, because he liked this girl.
Yeah.
And it's funny because not even 24 hours he was declaring war on Japan, and now he's sacrificing himself to save humanity. It's like
26 episode series and an 11 episode series. I mean, that's what it sucks, man. It's the worst part of this show. It's awfully paced.
I am declaring war on Japan. I'm going to kill 1,000 people. Oh, I'm going to save the world. Bye. Kaboom.
Yeah. In many ways, this show would have been a lot better if... I'm glad it seems to be a 1-to-1 adaptation, because I think this guy's mangas are he misses the mark so many times, and it's really, at this point, he shouldn't, but really I appreciate it, because when I see some of this stuff, like, just there's a little tidbit where some people are actually worshiping Hero as this person who, he went around killing all these cops, he's such a good guy. Like, they're stupid, yeah, but there's crazy people like that. And lo and behold, it's a bunch of teenage girls who think he's hot.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that happens in real life too. Remember that one dude that got the mugshot, and because he was actually handsome, women were like, "Oh, he's so beautiful," and he got like a modeling gig out of that.
Yep. Yeah, but I honestly think they overplayed that, because it happens in real life, but I don't think it would happen when you are literally seeing these murders happen. It's one thing to know somebody's a murderer from a distance and hear things, but some of these characters, literally, there was a girl who was watching heroes shoot people through the screens, and she's still on her phone, like, he's hot, and then she gets shot.
That did happen.
It makes me think, like, sometimes when I was watching this show, I'm like, I hope these people aren't, like, actually, he's, like, basing these off real Japanese people or anything, because this probably would make the Japanese look like complete idiots.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was more of a shot at the younger generation, because that happens a lot. So I don't know. That's just what I got from it.
Yeah, I think so too. It's like we're quick to forgive if he's hot or if they're good looking, but if they were ugly as sin, give him the chair.
I think that scene, if that was earlier in the show, it would have worked way better. Because you wouldn't, like, not because, like, if you take out the girls watching him being a mass murder thing and just move that forward, would have been much better. I think it would have been perfectly fine. But once again, they wanted to do the 1-to-1, and that's kind of like the point of that. Is like they did it for better or for worse. I get what he was trying to do there in the original stuff. Also, I like the side stuff for some of these side characters like Mari and Ando. How they both are mangaka, striving mangaka, trying to win this competition. I really enjoyed that. Once again, 11 episodes, and it's like a thing that's brought up in the ending of the anime, like when they're playing a song, and at the end the song fades out, and it's like, I did it, I won, and Ando's like right next to her at like. How did they both walk in to the same store at almost the exact same time, picking up the exact same volume of whatever, to turning to the exact same page, reacting at the exact same time? How?
I mean, that's Hollywood for you. Yeah, Fates.
Fate Zero.
That's just Hollywood for you. Everything's got to have a nice little wrapped up little bow on it.
It happens before too. There's another plot hole like that where he saves Mari, and it takes him 5 minutes to save Mari, but it takes him, like, I don't know.
I thought that was weird too. This guy knows how to cure cancer patients and fix the cat. It showed him how he healed the cat, like he was learning how to use his powers. But
yeah,
all of a sudden, he just didn't know how to do it because it was his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I think that happens again when he's reviving. Or that may be before, when he revives Satoru. Is that before he learns about the healing power to save other people?
I think it was after, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was too. But for some reason, because the person was dead, I guess he thought he couldn't save him or whatever.
That may be it for him. But for Mari, it didn't make sense for him to take so long. But I appreciate the scene, what they were doing there, because I've seen that scene happen in real life, and the way this is his best scene in my opinion. The way he cries out that howl, I've heard that howl, and it's something you don't want to hear, and that's how it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
That scene that hit me when I was watching.
I mean, it's definitely a powerful scene, and I think that's why. For plot convenience sake, they made it that way so that people could feel an emotional response to it versus, oh, well, he should have known how to do it right away. Because imagine how that scene would have made you feel if he would have just be like, oh, Mari, and then just, whoop, all better. Mm-hmm. Versus what the original scene was.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it was done the way that it was.
It's another pacing issue, because we see the other patients, he does it quick. He walks in, cures the cancer, gets out. And I guess it probably is harder to do it from a state of she's almost brain dead at that point, probably. No air, nothing. So the excuse, would take longer, I guess. How long though? I'm not sure. And that's maybe what they're trying to do there. Maybe that would be their excuse, is like, well, she's, or maybe almost dead.
It's his daughter, so it's different versus just random people he doesn't know. Maybe that's what they're trying to convey too. Because if you were to see your sibling or your daughter or whoever laying down, it would be hard for you too.
Yeah, panic. sets in.
Mhm.
It really
Mhm.
does. That may be, one of the things about that. You're probably right. God, what
There's
else?
also the thing of Hiro just being at the park at the same time as Inuyashiki. I
They
mean,
never
I,
I
they
think
never
he
said
knew.
why he was there.
yeah.
I don't
I
think.
mean,
I think he flew there because he knew he was there. Because it was the plane. He landed the planes, right? Right.
no. I mean, the
No.
initial first episode scene where
Yeah.
they
Oh,
got their bodies changed.
Mhm.
yeah. That's
He was just
a complete
there.
coincidence.
He was just because we know why Inuyashiki was there. He was like, I have cancer. My family hates me. I'm depressed. I'm crying. But Hero was just there for some. He was right behind him. He was just like, okay. And then and then of course they turned into robots. And I
Yeah.
think Inuyashiki explicitly asked him in the last episode, "Why were you at the park?"
He
And he
did.
never answered. He
Yeah.
never
He never
answers
did.
it.
He never did. And we will never know because plot convenience.
Yep. That's lots of. They had to do it though, but lots of plot conveniences. Lots of really really it felt like last minute put together writing. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess but there's
Maybe they
that's
want.
a cheap out.
Yeah, maybe open ended because how some things to shows or some I don't know MacGuffins or whatever. They're just like, oh, let's leave this open ended, kind of like Paul. And we never in the suitcase. Me personally, I don't give a
Your
shit.
your
Great.
Android EA.
Yeah! Am I better?
Now it sounds better.
Okay, what I was getting at, but really quick before I robot again, before I turn into Inuyashiki, I was talking about how they like to leave things open ended, MacGuffins. In Pulp Fiction, we don't know what's ever in the suitcase, and personally, I don't care because the movie is so great. But to me, why was he there? Why was he standing out in the park just staring up? Did he know the aliens were going to come and he wanted to kill himself? I mean, it's just never explained. And I feel as if they were to explain it, it would make it better. But they were trying to be cool. It's like, ooh, let's make it, open ended to where you have to decide why he was there. And it's like, I don't care. This guy's not redeemable. Maybe he is a little bit, but at least tell us why you were there, damn it.
Yeah.
I hate Hero.
I hate him so much. I hate him because he's so many things about him, like in terms of writing, like it's there, like all of it's there to create this really great villain, but there's just so many shortcomings. It just falls short. Like this, the only person I think in the show that's like really done really well, in my opinion, is like Inuyashiki.
The dog.
Yes, the dog. He's not killed, so he's perfect. So, one of the great things I also like about this show is in the last episode they do the ending, and we see that not everything is perfect for this family after Inuyashiki goes away. The son is bullied. It's bittersweet in a lot of ways. The son just at the end he got to connect with his father one final time, which was very very shoehorned in. But
yeah, it was like because he had no focus on the show at all. I mean, not everybody. I mean, damn it, even the dog Hanako had more focus than the son.
mm-hmm.
If I'm being
The son
honest, and
had
then,
one episode, and that was the last one.
Yeah. And then they all pretended like they cared, and I didn't care for all of that.
I once again, it was the idea that I appreciated more than the execution, because the execution is terrible. But I did like the ending sequence where they show like what happened to the family afterwards, after Inuyashiki sacrificed himself and Armageddon himself. Really, I mean, they wouldn't have been in that situation anyways if they got a bunch of miners to go into space and oil riggers or whatever. Would have been totally fine. But
don't want to close my eyes.
Hero closed his eyes when he did the thing, so
He pushed
Inuyashiki
his
did it.
eyes in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, literally. Uh,
Ready to explode.
but yeah, it doesn't all go well. Like Mari, wins the competition, but the son gets bullied, and I like that. I like how it's not happily ever after. There's still some shortcomings in this family, and Yushiki just didn't solve every single problem in the world. The story still continues after he's gone. I like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Execution wise, pretty fine.
the kid got bullied, yes, but he stood up for himself. He got in some licks for the other people, because if you notice, they were bruised and they were walking away and whatever. And yeah, he was laying on the floor and he was beat up too and bloodied, but you know what? He could at least say, "Didn't get my money, bitch."
I honestly, I think we've exhausted everything. Satsuki, we haven't really let you talk. Do you have anything else you want to say?
I hated
I just want it. No, I'm
99%
kidding.
of this cast.
Say that again. Sorry.
I hated 99% of this cast. We have already talked about it, but Inuyashiki and Ando, was that his name?
Yeah, Ando, his kid friend.
Yeah, those were the only two characters I liked. I did not as great, and I mean in personality as Shion was. I didn't like her as well because I've seen these type of characters before, and I really hate when it's done with female characters where they fall in love with the character for almost no reason at all. Like whatever character they fall in love with, they have no redeeming qualities. But I mean, and I get it because that's like a high school thing, and it happens. But we're talking about somebody who she knew was a murderer, and yet she still sheltered him and still believed that he didn't kill those people, even though all the evidence was pointed to him, and then he literally admitted it.
I think that scene where she was like, "It's got to be somebody else. I get it's a mistake." I think that was she was trying to fool herself. But every other scene before that, I was like, "Come on."
Yeah, I was like, "Oh man, I don't like this." But yeah, that's just me. And like I said, most of the cast I didn't like, except for the people the random people, like that one lady who had cancer. She was okay, but of course she wasn't that important. So, it is what it is.
Yep. The show's flawed, incredibly flawed, undoubtedly flawed. It's got so many issues. You can see the issues, you can analyze the issues. But this is one of my favorite anime of all time because it's different. It's trying to tell this. It's an incredibly flawed story, but it's with its flaws, it's still trying to tell this story that I can really appreciate. And I think I would just love more anime like Inuyashiki. I mean, I just really would. Just more anime in this style would be more than enough.
As different and as imperfect as it is, and how it could be way, 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 way better, I definitely can say that this is better than a general, I don't know, like kind of the majority of anime that we've been getting lately, with the whole moe stuff and the look at me, I'm gonna do the splits and shit. I don't know, idol stuff. Well, not all idol stuff. We have our idol stuff, but but the cop outs and whatnot. But yeah, this definitely sets itself different from all the other animes that are out there.
Yeah,
and I could at least respect it for that.
It's got, in my opinion, what do you guys think about the opening of this? I think this is one of the best openings in anime.
It is catchy as hell. The visuals are like weird, but
the visuals play into the lyrics of the song and the story, and that's what I like about it. He turns Inuyashiki turns into the city, and so does Hiro because they're turning into a machine.
Yeah, and I get it. It's when you have kind of like towards the end where you see Inuyashiki's face falling to Earth with no eyes, and it's like, okay, that's foreshadowing. He stopped the asteroid by
Right.
killing himself. I
Right.
get it, but I mean, if
It's
you were to
goofy.
go into
It's
if you go
weird.
into that episode 1 not knowing anything, you think it's weird. You think it's just weird. But I like the song.
Man with a Mission's great. They got a bunch of they're like this weird pseudo rap rock band that it's like Limp Bizkit but done way right, like super right. And I love Man with a Mission, and their lyrics are super just. There's this one song they've done. It's called I don't remember what it's called, but it's a really good song. And all of their lyrics are kind of like this opening song, where it's like it's there's a commentary in all their stuff. It's not super political every time. They're not like one of those really like they're not Green Day like super political or whatever, and it's really cringy. It's very something people can relate to. It's more in line with like a very casual Rage Against the Machine. It's not about anger and war and a pocket full of shells. Sometimes it's it's about a dead end of Tokyo, or whatever, and
hitting people and hitting me on the ground.
Yes, which is one of the best choruses in ever. There you go. I said it. Hit me on the ground is the best chorus in ever. Okay.
Hit me on the ground. Hit me on the ground. Get out of here. Yeah.
The ending song's great too.
Hit me on the ground.
The ending song is about being, the things that are the closest to you, the most important, which you can then kind of layer on to Inuyashiki's family, and that's where you get that. And Hiro's family as well. Although not as successful. This show's great. I love this show for all of its flaws, for all of its stuff. I can recommend this to anyone to watch. It's quick. Get in, get out. It's on Amazon Prime. Watch it if you like Gantz, especially. If you like Gantz, this is a must watch. Like, you will love this if you love Gantz. If you find Gantz even mildly entertaining, you will love this. And if you find this even mildly entertaining, Gantz is so fucking good. Go out and read it today. Do it now.
Yeah. I would recommend this show too. I would suggest people to kind of go into it with an open mind and just kind of not expect the greatest anime in the world, but at least you'll be entertained to a certain point, and also
you'll think about stuff.
Yeah, you'll think about stuff, and also there's an ending. How many animes can we say have an ending?
That's true.
That you can suggest, because like one of my favorites, Dead Man Wonderland, High School of the Dead, all no endings. You have to either read the manga or you're never going to read it because the guy died. But you're just left with just wondering, man, what could have been. At least with this, you can say you got an ending, everything's all wrapped up, and boom. Yeah, you can finish this on a weekend. I'd recommend it. It's better than a good majority of anime that I've seen.
Final verdict, Satsuki?
For me, I don't think I would recommend it. I liked this show. It had a lot of good points, but all the themes that I wanted them to really, touch upon, they didn't do it enough. And we already talked about it. It's mainly a time thing, because 11 episodes wasn't enough to do what the mangaka was trying to do with this series. So, I mean, again, it's a good show, but it could have been a lot better, and that really disappoints me.
There you go. That is the episode of the Nakama Club about Inuyashiki. Next time, it will be on, I guess, Satsuki's channel, and we'll be doing Madoka Magica, right? Is that true?
Magical girls.
Heck yeah. We're talking about magical girls, and
I have never seen it, so this is going to be a treat.
It's going to be crazy. I've seen it before. I don't remember anything about it, but I do remember craziness. It's great. I think it's from the same guy who wrote Fate Zero and maybe Black Lagoon. Not sure. I think, but for sure on Fate Zero part. I'm pretty sure he wrote Fate Zero. Yeah, it's gonna be great. So shout yourself out.
I can't wait for Sasuke to host. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be great.
Oh, it's going to be terrible.
Where can they find you, EA?
You can find me on the Twitters. You can find me on the YouTube, on the ground where I'm hitting, and you can also find me on the YouTubes where I haven't made anything in a month, but like I always say, turn yourself into a robot and you can do anything. And I think the lesson of Inuyashiki is this: don't go to a park and then, if you happen to get killed, and if you are that alien that kills random human species, don't give them fucking machines, you idiots. At least just pretend like there were some bugs happened, or you're like, oh shit, I just accidentally stepped on some ants. Let's just keep going. Anyway, that's my channel.
Yeah, aliens, take that one. And subscribe to EA's channel, aliens. God! Shout yourself out, Satsuki the Savage.
You can find me on the Twitter. I'm actually gaining more power on Twitter. I'm actually happy. Soon, I'm just going to say something, and then I'm going to have like a cult following. And then, yeah.
Or we'll see how that works out. And they're gonna come after you with pitchforks.
I mean, they can already do that if they want to. I mean, I've said some things, some stuff, but
Sasuke, we love you.
I mean, I wish I was like Hero and I could do anything and people would love me, but I wasn't blessed. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter, King Daniels Jr. YouTube, Satsuki the Savage. Don't even subscribe to my second channel because I don't even know when I'm uploading JoJo live reactions, so I'm not even going to say anything about that. But yeah, the lesson we learned from Inuyashiki is put down your smartphones and talk to your mom, daughter, dog, whatever the fuck.
And if you have the power to cure cancer, do that as well. Jesus, come on, guys, been waiting too long. You can find me on everything, on what you're watching this on now. If you're watching this live, you can follow me there. That would be nice. You can, also subscribe to me on the Bento channel, which is my backup channel, which I will be doing videos for this season. Currently, I'm just uploading kind of like fillerish videos just to let YouTube know I still do things. But really, I'm writing a lot of scripts for a lot of reviews for a lot of anime that I'll watch this season, waiting for my channel to hopefully come back. And once that happens, there's just going to be lots of reviews. Things like Promised Neverland, Domestic Girlfriend, aka the anime where you make fun of Hina constantly.
Heterosexual citrus.
You really wanted to get that out, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to.
It was like a sneeze. Just building up. Yeah. Follow me on the SeaTactics channel as well. Links for that will be everywhere. Links for these two channels. It's still up? It's still up, yes. If you have a strike, if you don't know, I have 3 strikes because Japanese companies hate me for some reason. If you have 3 strikes, you're not allowed to upload, and your channel will get terminated after 7 days. But if you have strikes that you're currently fighting, the channel stays up until a decision is made.
So you guys can still troll SeaTactics in the comments.
You can.
I know I will.
And actually, yes, please comment on my channel, even if it's a troll, because I'm bleeding subs right now. My views have gone to almost an historic low. Watch time is down. I'm panicking, and I need your help. So please donate to my GoFundMe, where I'll
for just 99 cents a day. You too can help a SeaTactics.
I will send you a postcard.
Just remember what happens to internet trolls. Inuyashiki was very clear on that.
What if we were doing this and Hero just popped up on our computer screens and phone screens?
I'm throwing my phone out the window.
I'm running from my computer.
I'm putting
Like
my
no
phone in
joke.
water.
I'm taking a baseball bat to this computer.
Bang. Bang.
You can't kill me, hero.
Now see,
Oh no,
you can't.
EA pot. He got
No!
got.
He got me.
Oh my god. Is EA losing his way or is he lost? That's a reference to the opening.
He can't.
It sounds like you were dying in an 8-bit filter.
He tried to take. He tried to take me, but then I got away from him.
You hit him on the
Good for
ground.
you.
Yeah, I hit him on the ground. It always comes back to that.
Remember, guys, there's no more price to pay. Meteor's gonna hit Earth. We're all gonna die. So